Please give a round of applause to her. Thank you. And the other person is Hussain.
Hi everybody, my name is Hussain Abdullah. I'm a retired New York City public school educator. I taught math for 14 years, and I still consider myself an educator, just a better paid one. What I do is I teach people how to invest their money, and we run the gamut from flips, wholesaling, everything from New York City down to Texas, everything along the Atlantic. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you for your time.
What are the opportunities in this sector that people can actually take leverage on?
I think that there's a range of opportunities, and one of the things that I would say, I think there's always opportunities in real estate. When prices were high, there were opportunities for people to sell. Now the prices are dropping, there's opportunities for people to buy and invest. But I think something that's novel between now and, let's say, 20, 30 years ago is the advent of social media and the internet. So before, the four of us wouldn't have had the opportunity to connect. In 30 seconds, we've all exchanged information, and now 315 agents, 17 years of experience, flipping in this part of Texas, so what I'm doing, now we're talking about 1,000 opportunities. So I think it's a lot easier for people to get access to information, to discern information, and to share the information, to make sure that everybody has access to real estate. For your points, and give one more tidbit of information for people who may be on the fence. For some young buyers, they've only known 4%, 3%. So they're like, oh my God, 7 is the worst. That's actually pretty par for the course. If we go the last 40 years, and for all of my investors, when I'm taking loans, I don't mind the higher interest rate because the interest is all deductible anyway. So that helps me pad my taxes when the time comes. So don't necessarily focus on the interest rate, focus on the deal. Yeah, I wouldn't touch that. I wouldn't want to start having a conversation. No, again, there are opportunities in all markets. I think the most important thing for anyone who's listening, if our audience is made up of people who are trying to learn how to invest or trying to learn how they can help, I think a venue such as this is a good opportunity because you don't have to have all the answers. You just stand on the shoulders of giants. There are a tremendous amount of opportunities in this room. All you have to do is find who mirrors what your passion is. So like Kay said, she's building an orphanage. I just found that out. I have a nonprofit that benefits schools. So now I know who I can talk to send money and contribute in that way. So again, I'm just going to go back to, it has to go back to education and funneling good resources. As long as you do due diligence on who you're going to work with, I think there are a tremendous amount of opportunities. I think in my field, I'm not a realtor. I am an investor, but again, I'm really primarily based in education. We crowdfund and that sort of thing. I think the hardest thing to overcome in my particular business is fighting against the microwave mentality. So what I mean by microwave, you pop something in 30 seconds, you think you're gonna be a millionaire because you invest $300. I'm faced with that daily, where people are like, listen, I have $3,000. And I'm like, well, that's great. Well, how much do you expect to get back? Or do you really think you're gonna double that in a year? Like, that's not a realistic number. So I think we have to combat certain mentalities that are developed through what people see on social media. I won't say any names necessarily, but like a Grant Cardone or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, who tell people that they can do it, just buy my book. And then we're like, no, 8%, 12% is a good return. And they're like, you're just trying to steal our money. So, yeah, I think that's the hardest thing, is combating the mainstream mentality. Sure, so I want to take, this happened to me. I just turned 40, I just retired 3 years ago from being education, being a public school teacher. In those 3 years, there was like an explosion in terms of success. I believe personally, because I wasn't giving my best hours to a structure, I was giving it to my business and my clients. That being said, very recently I was able to have like an epiphany. I only started investing in real estate about 7 years ago. So what I want to tell people, if you're in the weeds right now, if you're trying to get started, This is something I learned within the 2-3 years of success in terms of retirement. When I started out, who would I go talk to? Friends and family. Trustworthy, but hey, you got 1,000, you got 1,000, and people will look the other way and say no. So what happens? You get upset, you get offended. I'm gonna show them I found success, and now those same people came back and called. Because now they want to get a return, now they want. And what I realized is they weren't bad people, untrustworthy in their eyes. I just didn't have a proven concept. So what I want people to understand, if you're starting up now, don't be upset with the people, your loved ones, your friends, if they don't want to invest in you. You haven't done anything yet. You know, so that's one of the things I think that is a big takeaway, because if you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to be successful. And I think you got to have that mindset and the right stomach, and I think you can do anything, especially invest in real estate. Just a distinction, because there's like jargon. Hard money to realtors, they consider it cash. That's not my money, that's a loan. So I want people who may not be familiar with how you view it, that you can put 10% down and someone will finance you. That's not a conventional loan, and that's not you financing the whole deal. That's just what we had as far as the side conversation. In terms of whether you should buy cash or use somebody else's money, I'll say this, you always should look at the deal first, because I'm only going to invest once I know what my ROI, my return on investment is. So it doesn't matter whether it's 100,000, a million, I'm looking for the highest rate of return. Typically, it depends on rates and other factors, but typically, using other people's money is going to get you a higher rate of return, because you can spread your money out across multiple deals. That's typically, but again, it depends deal to deal. The first question was the turnaround. The market shifted. Previously, you were selling houses, you had 10 people online before you finished with the flip. Market shifted, now you gotta wait a few weeks. If you have buyers, then it's a little easier. We did 100 flips in under 3 years in Central Texas. Our average turnaround is 86, 87 days. I can show you my spreadsheet. Is that typical right now? Absolutely not, because things have changed. But I want to add that you didn't ask. Please don't try to flip a home. Save your money, pull from your IRA, and go out there and then just go try it yourself for the first time. Please don't do that. There's so many, right? I mean, I call it business school. Meaning, you pay money to learn a lesson. Learn from other people, don't hurt yourself. Partner with somebody who's done it. It's the fastest way to lose your shirt in real estate, trying to take a flip on it.
When it comes to investing in real estate, we've already said that it can be risky. How do you feel about real estate investment groups whereby we pool our money, because not everybody knows somebody who has an extra 50 grand to loan you and that will trust you? How do you feel about those group investment trusts? Okay, you can go ahead.
Well, we both have that setup. Whether you call it crowdfunding, it's not necessarily a REIT, because a real estate investment trust is a very specific thing. But I started my business with crowdfunding. And I think you have to vet the group. This is real estate. It's not cars, it's not baseball caps, it's nothing else. Anything somebody shows you or tells you, they should be able to show you via public record. I just said I flipped 100 houses in 2 years. I can show you the list. You pull the record, you see HAHOMES own that property at this amount of time. If I tell you it's 80 days, you can go on Zillow, look at the record, and see I bought and sold it. I tell you I made this much money, so on and so forth. So I think it's going to come down to trust. I don't think you should invest money that you can't lose. So I think anybody on this panel, and I'm sure other people in the room, if they can show you what they do or what their scope is, you should work with somebody that fits your personality. I think that's one point. Because let's say we can all make you 50% on your money in 2 years, give or take. But I'm kind of almost cursed, but that's me. Maybe you don't like that. Maybe you don't work with me. Maybe you want somebody a little bit more refined. Maybe you want somebody who's a little bit more lighthearted and doesn't care. So find somebody who's going to show you and prove to you their numbers, and find somebody that matches your personality, because it's the worst thing working with somebody that you don't want to talk to.
The discussion, please can you give a round of applause for yourself and the stage is long, and then give a round of applause for our amazing panel. Thank you. Could you do that again? Could you give another round of applause for our amazing panelists? Thank you so much. We had such a great discussion. Thank you so much for moderating us, and now I'll hand over to our amazing moderator for today.
All right. Can we give them another round of applause? This was very educational. Definitely, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.